And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm ProfessorJRod. In this episode, it's a very special episode. I'm introducing a friend, Yakov, who's actually lives in Germany, and he has the Nation Youth podcast, which he records. He's originally from Nigeria, and now he lives in Germany. And I wanted to meet with him because I want to show my students how is life living as a tech in another country. Is it the same as US? Is it different? Are the requirements the same? Are the work hours all the same? And Yakov was able to, during the interview, explain all these things to me. And I find that you guys will enjoy this interview. But before we go on the interview, two things I want to take care of. One, remember at the end of the podcast, I will ask a question for a chance to win a prize. And you listen to the end at the end of the podcast. I would ask a question. Email ProfessorJRod@gmail.com. The first two people who get the right answer wins a prize. And second, I actually want to thank a group of people in Centennial, Colorado, who are faithful listeners who've listened to every episode. Don't really know who they are, but I just wanted to give them a shout out because every time I post an episode, they're one of the first people that listen to it. So thank you. All right, let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm here with a friend of mine. His name is Yako, and he's from Germany. And I invited him on the podcast today to talk a little bit about what do we do, like what's a typical tech in Germany. I know some of you guys are interested in what other techs do in different countries. So we kind of found each other, through our mutual love of podcasts and our mutual love of technology. And he actually has his own podcast. So, Yako, tell me a little bit about your podcast, about you and your podcast.
Oh, thank you very much, Professor Juan. First of all, I really want to say that your podcast is so interesting for me, and I'm sure a lot of people also will like to listen to what you discuss about on your podcast. A little bit about me. My name is Yaqub Omofoyewa. I was born in Ibadan, Nigeria. I currently work in and live in Germany, and I'm a technology enthusiast. I since 2005, I've been working with computer during the period age of Windows 98, Windows 2000.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, using floppy disk to back up data, and yeah. I mean, my first laptop, my first desktop rather, I actually got it with my tuition fee. So way back, 2005. Yeah. So just a little bit about me. I'm a client-oriented information technology specialist, and I have vast experience in network and server administration, and I'm highly proficient in system analysis, troubleshooting, and problem solving. So
Oh, wow, that's very impressive.
yeah, so when you talk about Windows systems, Linux, Mac, I have quite a lot of experience about that. And about my education, I had my bachelor degree in physics electronics from Ekiti State University, Nigeria, and currently pursuing my master's degree in communication systems and networks at the Technical University of Cologne in Germany. Also, I am an IT vendor. I have some certification in in Cisco Certified Network Associate, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure,
Wow.
yeah, and some like IT service management, ITU version 3, quite different specialization. Okay, okay. I'm also a cloud enthusiast as well, so I love cloud computing as well.
Wow. No, that's very impressive. Cloud
Yeah,
is yeah. We're trying to get into cloud at the college that I
exactly.
teach. Yeah,
That's
we
right.
find that that's very important.
That's right. Yeah. So,
That's good.
um,
So here's some of the questions that the students want to know. What's the typical hours of a tech in Germany?
um, you know, I think this is not like Silicon Valley, but however, it actually depends on the company that you work for and the nature of the business that you're actually doing, the company rather is doing. So, but the standard full-time contract in Germany is about 40 hours, um, 40 hours a week. So
And
yes,
same as here. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's
Good.
right.
And you work typical day, right? Monday through Friday.
Ah, exactly. Definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
What's what does a typical tech make in Germany?
That also depends on the company that you work for and your experience as well. Yeah, because Germans really they are really particular about your experience. So, but a person working as a computer technician, like, not just like start of IT support person, typically has about 2,850 euros per month. That's the minimum salaries, So, yeah, but you can get as high as 4,500 euros for just a very low technician experience, but you can't talk about, if you want to talk about DevOps engineers, you want to talk about software engineers, they hand way, 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 way higher,
Yeah.
you know.
And
Yeah,
yeah, 4,500 euros is like $5,000 a month.
that's right.
Yeah, so
That's right.
that's pretty good money.
That's right.
Now, here's the question that I get a lot from students. What's more important, education or certification?
Um, Here in Germany, I I think education is way, way more important. Certification is not as important as education in Germany. The overwhelming majority of German students, they attend public schools, and of course, if you have a degree in university, you'll be well respected around the world. And you open many doors for your career choices. So in Germany, yes, education is quite very important if you really want to go far, even as a German and even as a foreigner. Also, your education speaks for the position that you find yourself.
So you don't find a lot of techs have certifications.
Yeah, certification is just like an addition to your education that you have. So if you like have additional certifications, that shows you are more qualified for the position. And certification is not as important even as language. So technically, if you can speak language in Germany, you have more opportunities than somebody that cannot speak language. Of course, you also get job as foreigner, but when you speak language, you can actually get more opportunity than even when you have a lot of degrees and a lot of certification, and and you cannot speak a single word in German.
Ah,
That's right.
so when you talk language, you meaning the German language or English? I've been to Germany. I've been to Frankfurt
Okay.
when uh, when I used to work in tech before I became a professor.
Okay.
And in Frankfurt, I know
Yeah,
Frankfurt is where the financial district is,
that's right.
and they speak a lot of English there.
Yeah, they
Uh,
call Frankfurt the business hub. Yeah,
yeah. So, but you're saying that it's important to know Germany, of course, in German, right?
exactly.
Though I did meet a British guy there in
Hmm.
Germany, in Frankfurt, who
Yeah.
doesn't speak German, but he has a job in
Okay.
a German company. He speaks very little German,
Yeah.
but he speaks. This was like 10 years ago. But
Hmm.
how important it is to speak another language? Like you speak English very well.
Yep.
So how? How important is that?
Yeah, I think just like what I said, you know, you can't do away with the language. If you really want to get really far with Germans, you should be able to communicate with them in their local language. And of course, the German is our official language, so it is very pertinent for you to be able to speak at least, you know, some basics. So apart from your experience, apart from your qualifications, you know, for you to also show that you can speak their language, it brings them more closer to you. They feel like, okay, this person is no more a foreigner, it's getting to know our culture and, you know, our tradition.
Yeah, here
Yeah.
there's a big thing here. Here's a little weird because you can
Yeah.
actually live, work, and spend all your time if you
Yeah.
live in a particular neighborhood
Yeah.
and not know English. So like there's pockets of places here, like there's a Spanish place here in New York City area that
Yeah.
you can live, work, and watch TV all in Spanish and never need to learn English because you can go to the
Yeah.
store, everybody speaks Spanish. The signs are all in Spanish. You could work if you work nearby. You could just work with people who speak Spanish,
Hmm.
and talk Spanish all day, and go home and actually watch Spanish news, Spanish TV shows, Spanish movies.
Yeah.
And it's not only Spanish. There's Asian neighborhoods, and here there's different. It's a little different here. I mean, of course, to get a highly successful job,
Hmm.
got to know English.
That's
Um,
right.
but yeah, you can get away, with, especially if you're older, maybe you're retired, you can get
Hmm.
away with living in a neighborhood and not have to know English and know your
Yeah.
native English, and because everything around is your native language.
Hmm.
So I find that's pretty interesting. That's good, man. That's some good stuff. So what's your podcast about? What is
Um,
it called first?
the Nation Youth Podcast is
What is it called again?
the Nation Youth Podcast.
The
I
Nation
call it
Youth
The
Podcast.
Nation Youth.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Nation Youth Podcast is a podcast where Nigerian professionals, you know, that they're living abroad, they had a privilege to discuss, and we usually have a brainstorming sessions, you know, about education, politics, technology, you know, businesses, and you know, what is happening around the world, and you know, so it's basically meant for an average Nigerians that lives abroad, and wait for them to, you know, come together, brainstorm and discuss about way forward to promote Africa as a whole, and you know, to also give back to the society.
That
Yeah.
sounds great. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You get a lot of guests and stuff. I see your little logo in the background. I like that.
Thank you.
How's it going? When did you start doing the podcast?
um to be honest, it's actually been a burning desire for me for quite half a decade now, and but officially I started last year, December last year, and so far so good. We've had, like, currently we had like about 200 listeners worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, we had people from, you know, the US, Australia, UK, you
Yeah,
know,
that's what I
Germany.
like. With
Yeah,
what
that's
do you
right.
you use Buzzsprout as your RSS feed?
Yeah, but I think I used I used listening notes.
Okay.
I think that really
Yeah,
helps a lot.
Buzzsprout, I use it, and they give you statistics. They tell you who's listening where. I find that fascinating.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
somebody in Australia is listening to me,
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's
yeah,
amazing. I
exactly.
appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I
Yeah.
can sense your excitement
Hmm.
because of that. But I started mine in November, like a
Oh,
month before you,
okay.
and I wouldn't say it was a desire for me to do it. I was interested in doing one,
Hmm.
not on technology,
Yeah.
but I'm doing my doctorate, and I put it. One of my professors said, "What do you want to do that you haven't done within the next 3 years?" So I
Mm.
put be part of a research. I want to write an article,
Mm.
And I also put, I didn't think of anything else. I was like, well, a podcast. I'm going to put a podcast. And I put that as number one. This was over the summer. And then in the
Okay.
fall semester, she writes, okay, the number one thing, the thing that you wrote number one on your personal growth
Yep.
plan, now you have to do it. And I'm like, I don't know how to do a podcast. She says, tough, figure it out.
Mm.
So I took a class. My local college here in town,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a lady who teaches how to make a podcast.
Wow.
So I took it, and now I actually like it. And I was only going to do one episode. I
Okay.
was only going to do one episode, and that was it. But then I started seeing, like, you know, people commenting on it. I sent it to my students. They liked it. I got reviews. I got feedback. And I decided I'm going to keep doing it. I try to do an episode like every 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
and come up with new ideas. I kind of latched this on this CompTIA thing because a lot of my students, that's what one of their goals is to get
Mm-hmm.
CompTIA A+ certified.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of gear it, to different topics: RAID, power supply, the
Mm.
exam itself,
Yeah.
how to pass. So we'll see where it goes. I'll keep doing it as long as my students like it. But yeah, it's a lot harder than people think. You know,
Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely. Because you really have to, after the record, after the session, you have to edit you have to listen to it all over again. You have to edit,
yep,
learn the line. You have
yep.
to,
One of the biggest things that I learned, Yako, I don't know if you experienced this,
yeah,
that I have to write what I'm gonna say.
exactly.
All right, because
Yeah.
what I find myself doing is when I did it, just I'm gonna record myself talking.
Hmm.
Is there's a lot of pauses, and then
Exactly.
there's a lot of
Uh, uh,
So even
I thought
now I still do it.
I thought
So
I was
I
the only one. I thought I was the only
No, no,
one,
no.
actually.
I do it too, and I go in there and I use Audacity, and I
Mhm.
go in there, and every time I go in there and I delete it. Or when there's a big space and
Yeah.
there's nothing
Yeah.
going on because I'm taking a sip of water or I'm doing something else, I go in there and I cut it.
Yeah. I
So
use Audacity too for to audit my podcast.
yeah, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who's doing
You're
these
not. You're not.
mistakes or suffering through the ums and the blanks.
You're not alone. Yeah, you're not
Oh,
alone.
that's great. That's great. Oh, well, I want to thank you for coming on, and please, I'll be more than happy to go on your podcast and we could talk about American stuff. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I would love to. I would love to invite you maybe next month. Then we can, discuss about, what it is to as a tech person in the US, and I'm sure a lot of Nigerians in diaspora will want to listen to that and what it is for them to be successful as a tech entrepreneur or a tech person in the US.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of stories. So
Oh,
in my classes, the students know me
cool,
as someone who has a lot of stories, and I talk a lot. So be
cool.
prepared. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nice to hear from you as well.
All right, my thanks to Yako, and if you want to listen to his podcast is called, once again, the Nation Youth Podcast. When he talks about his life in Germany as a Nigerian immigrant. I really want to thank him for coming on to the show. Now, on to the question. So, what's the question for this week? All right, I'm going to give you an easy question. All right, here it is. Here's the easy question. What score do you have to get to pass the Security Plus exam? What is the score that you need to get to pass the Security Plus exam? The first two people who email me with the correct answer at ProfessorJRod at gmail.com will win a prize. All right, that's going to do it for the show this week. Again, thanks for Yakov for his coming on. This has been a production of Little Chacha Productions. Art by Sarah. Music by Jokem. And I will see you back On the next episode, we'll go back to doing more of CompTIA A+ on the next episode. Thanks for listening.